Very welcome to everybody that's joining me this afternoon. I'm live from the KwaZulu-Natal airport today, King Shaka. Was hoping not to do it from the airport, but a bit of time constraints and so forth. So very welcome to everybody that's joining us. It's really nice to have you. I'm going to try and do everything from my one computer screen. Normally I've got at least two screens to be able to do this from. And also connecting to my phone as internet, which all of you know is stressful in itself. A very welcome to Kevin. How are you doing?
Thank you so much, Neil. I'm doing great. I'm just ice cold, but I'm doing really well. Thanks, and yourself. I'm also pretty jealous now. Where are you off to? I have not seen an airport in a very long time, and I'm a little bit jealous right now.
No, look, it's I'm returning to Johannesburg. I did early morning, got at 20 to 3 this morning, and went all the way to the airport, Johannesburg, flew to Durban for the day. Had my business meetings, and now in an hour's time I'll be flying back to Johannesburg. So doing the whole social distancing thing with the mask and things. Luckily there's no one around me, so I can take my mask off for this at least. So everybody that's joining us, tell me where you're from. I'm from the King Shaka airport at the moment, going live from here. Kevin is from Johannesburg, where I'll be flying to in an hour's time, and would love to know where you're joining from. I see Warren saying hello everybody. Caroline also joining, hi all. So I'd love to know, are you from Port Elizabeth, Cape Town, Durban, Johannesburg, outside SA? Where are you joining us from? And when last did you see an airport? Kevin, it's really nice to be at the airport, and let me tell you, it's quiet. There's no one here.
I mean, yeah, it looks like a little bit of a ghost town going on there in the background, but I'm definitely jealous, I will say that. I think, with everything that's gone on with travel has, become a thing of the past for now, but one day soon, I know when everybody is better, there's more important things to focus on currently, but one day soon I will be back in there and I will be getting a very overpriced coffee and enjoying a possible flight somewhere.
Yeah, and it's keeping safe. So like walking around with your hand sanitizer, literally sanitizing the whole time. I think by the time I get back to Johannesburg tonight, I will need to sleep with my hands in cream because it'll be so dry from all the hand sanitizer I've used all day, which is quite hectic. But today is talking about being an influencer, and Kevin, you're obviously an influencer. There's, I've been sitting here for 20 minutes and there's been no announcements. And now that I'm live, all I'm hearing in the background is one announcement after the other here at the airport. So just excuse that specifically. But let's specifically
make sure you get the right announcement.
Yeah. Now, it's all about being an influencer. So obviously you reach a lot of people and so forth. So if I have to ask you, how do you reach out to brands and companies for possible collaborations?
So, yeah, I mean, I think I'll introduce myself a little bit there in the sense that it's a very hard introduction to make, especially with all of the, the backlash that gets thrown around on social media. But I am a social media influencer. And it took me a while to come to terms with, that's what it is, because when people think about it that way, they obviously think, I don't know, possibly the Kardashians and flat tummy tea and trying to deal with things like that while, scrolling through Instagram. But yes, I am a social influencer now, and it's been about 4 years for me here in South Africa, in Johannesburg specifically. I'm 25 years old, and I started the influencer work quite by accident, I will say. I eventually...
What by accident? So you didn't decide one day, I'm going to be an influencer on social media. How did it come about?
So my story is a little bit different that way. I always wanted to become, and I still am active in entertainment and lifestyle journalism, and that was always my passion to meet people and do interviews and stuff like that. I was never much of a young adult that would be outgoing in the sense of taking pictures and messing around with social media that much. But as I took my first few steps to becoming a journalist in this field, it kind of just, there was a bit of a shift where, you know, people were wanting real people to advertise as opposed to blogs and websites and media. And I was very lucky at the sense that it was just the right place at the right time that those paths kind of crossed, and I ended up becoming the guy who focuses on a lot of like lifestyle and men's fashion and yeah, and travel as well. Like, hence why I'm jealous of the airport. But
we've seen the fashion though, you know, seeing you at the Gucci stores and all of those. Do you then? I have to ask, and you know what I'm going to ask. When you go, do you then get the Gucci as well?
You know what? Sometimes you do, and that's, you know, that's the best part about it. No, it's not the best part about it, but you know what? Stuff like that really is nice. And I think the more, if you're a person looking outside in, and you see these influencers getting everything, they're getting gifts, they're getting drops, press drops, free products, promotional codes. Like, that is a, you know, I still look at some others maybe who are, you know, ranks above me, and I think, damn, that's incredible. You know, they've got a card to promote, or they got a vacation or whatever, or something like that. And on the outside, you know, that is fantastic. But I think as you go into it, it becomes every influencer's possible worst nightmare, because you start receiving all these things, and then the problem is, you've got like a whole desk full of products, and then you have to write about them. So, you know, new and exciting.
It sounds horrible, even.
So yeah, my life is just so hard.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I mean, I think, and that's what a lot of influencers have been saying now, that, you know, one of the things that people have come out and said is that they would be preferred, you know, to be contacted first, as opposed to just having something random land up on, you know, at their gate saying, we've dropped this off for you. In terms of, you know, working smarter, not harder on your platform, you know, not really giving any disappointment to the PR or the brands that have sent something your way, expecting, you know, a possible feature when, you know, it just doesn't align with who you are. And yeah, I mean, it is one of the things that I never thought I'd ever have to deal with, but here I am.
And has it happened before where someone has sent you some of their products and you go by yourself, okay, cool, I'm not keen to do a collaboration with them, I haven't agreed to anything. How do you then address, what's the next step? Do you keep the products? Do you send it back? Do you maybe pass it on to Oracle Media's office for us to use? What's the step?
I have a few things I could bring you over if you really need it.
Is it good?
So yeah, I mean, I've had many instances where I've received things that, you know, just don't make sense for who I am as a person. And I do feel guilty, because obviously this was sent with, you know, a good gesture in mind. And if I had to, you know, if I was all into men's clothing and somebody had to send me, I don't know, an air rifle, for example, or like a BB gun, that, you know, nature, I'm not saying like nature doesn't align with who I am, but it's, you know, it just doesn't make sense that somebody like me would promote a product like that. And I'm always very conscious of, you know, trying to give the people who follow me and people who I interact with stuff that they're there following me for. You know, it's a very classic case of, you know, if you're a beauty blogger and you all of a sudden change to fitness, you know, the people who came there for cat eyes and a good contour aren't going to get what they want anymore. So yeah, I mean, I've had to put my foot down in that sense, because I'm only doing myself an injustice. And, you know, I'm not giving a true representation of who I am as a person to my followers.
Now, Kevin, before we go on, for those who's joining us, very welcome to In Conversation. I'm live from Kinshasa Airport. Kevin's joining us from Johannesburg. I'm flying back to Johannesburg in the next hour and a half. If you've got any questions for Kevin, that's an influencer in social media, any questions whatsoever, you're more than welcome to go to the comment section. You can ask that question, and I'll obviously pass it on to Kevin to answer while we are live still for the next 20 minutes. So do go to the question side. Anything that you'd like to pass on to Kevin is the influence on social media. Please do so, and we'll go through that specifically as well. Now, Kevin, you said you came into this by accident, and obviously brands have been approaching you over the past few years. If you were to classify yourself as an influencer, what influencer are you? Is it with regards to beauty products? Is it with regards to clothing? Is it cars? What specifically do you fall under?
So I'm going to first start off with my first influencer product that I'm showcasing today. It's the Oracle Media Water. And I thought that I'd bring this onto the show just to show you like how good I am at this. Like, so I take a bottle. But yeah, I would classify myself.
And is it the best water you've had?
It's honestly like the best water you've ever had. Use my personal code for 10% off. Neil will deliver them himself right to your door. So, it's perfect.
Kevin, on the spot, do an influencer video with that bottle now.
My goodness.
What would you do?
Oh my goodness. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm talking about a really interesting water that I received in a press drop. It isn't sponsored, but I really hope it will be one day because I'm obsessed with this product and I have to tell you why. This water is, I can't read that far, but the pH is amazing and it's literally like the softest water. And real water drinkers know that Oracle water is the real water to be having right now. So yeah, get it installed online.
We're sending you boxes. That's what you're doing, Kevin. Boxes of water.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I mean, so getting back to that, in terms of my niche, I would say that I definitely fall within men's grooming and lifestyle, and I try not to, box myself in too deep, but I do understand why a person who, sorry, I was just reading the comments then. There's something really good that I'll get to later. But I do understand why there are niches and why niches are needed to actually, start building on a base that you can really, get a group of people to follow you and engage with you and all that. Because if you were just a person who did everything, your followers just wouldn't know who you really are. And that's something I pride myself on. I mean, in real life, I'm very awkward. I make a lot of silly, stupid jokes. Take me to Sandton City and I'm not a fancy person. Like there's many, you can dress me in something really fancy, but I'm still going to have fun with my own, quirky personality. And I want people to know that. Like I want people to know that the things that they're using or the things that people are, being pushed, it doesn't always have to be a picture perfect image of, beauty and health and 100% like down to a T an edited photo that, it's not fun anymore. And I'm not saying it's not the way it should be, but there's so much room out there for real, especially now after we've just come out of this lockdown period. We've gone through so much. And I think, the wool is like, it's been ripped off our eyes at this part. Like our eyes are open and, people are seeing things for what it really is. They really are recognizing what their life means now. And like social media is strong in that because it influences them, but also they've taken the time to realize that, listen, my life isn't all about this. There's a whole world out there.
And I love what you say about being real, passing a real message on. For example, the airline I'm flying in is selling a message that your life matters. We'll put your life first. Safety is our first priority. Sanitization and so forth. But in the flight this morning to Durban, there was zero social distancing. There was no hand sanitizing when we got onto the plane. There was no hand sanitizing when we got off the plane. And when the plane landed, they said all the aisle seats can get up, which meant if there's 34 seats, 68 people jumped up into the aisle, which obviously caused zero social distancing. And what an easier way to spread germs. And you look at that and you look at the messages being passed on by marketing, and you wonder, is it the same marketing department that is working with the service department? Because obviously they're not talking to each other. And I think that's where a real message comes in, and in your ad campaign. So obviously, I would think when you do something as an influencer, you're selling a message that's real, that's that's genuine, that people are buying in. And I see comments also asking here, talking COVID-19. Hey Kevin, how have you had to reinvent yourself over this lockdown period? I'm sure this time hasn't been easy on you. So what would you say with regards to that, Kevin?
You know what? I've been very. I feel like I may butcher this question, but I need to get across like how I feel about it, because it's really important, like how this lockdown has probably not just affected me, but affected everybody else. And the COVID-19 is a very serious thing, and people do need to protect themselves. But this lockdown for me, I started it off very unaware of just where it would take me. And I came out of the office, and it was like my last day, ready to go work from home. And I was completely finished. There was, between trying to find toilet paper and hand sanitizer, it really takes it out of you. And, I am so
Did you get sponsored?
No, but if anybody's watching, I'm so appreciative of the time that I got during the lockdown. And that sounds like, I'm very wary saying that, because I know it could sound in a bad way, because there's real people out there who are suffering, and COVID-19 is a real thing. But I needed that time to, number one, protect myself from the outside at that point in time. And number two, it really gave me the opportunity to reinvent myself in the terms of like, what do I want next? Am I doing things right? How could I improve on not just like being an influencer, but my whole life as a whole? And that's why, I've come out of this now ready to go back to work, ready to, get kickstarted. And I feel so good for having that time. Although I was working the entire time, just to have that, time that you don't have in traffic in the morning or in the afternoon, to really sit there and reflect and say, okay, I'm this person. I want to achieve this in X amount of time. Right now, I don't believe I'm doing enough of that. How can I do that with the time that I've got? Because 24 hours in the year 2020 is not a lot anymore. You're always connected. Your 9 to 5 isn't a 9 to 5. It's an always on. Life is chaotic. So you need to force yourself to take a break in the midst of everything that you're doing. And that's, the real reinvention here that I got out of this was, you need to take time for your passion. And my passion is influencing. And I did definitely, let it go a bit on the back burner. And if you're not doing what your passion is, then you're not going to be as happy as you could possibly be.
Yes. No, I completely agree. So it's all about love, having that passion and so forth. I also see, talking about love, Taryn saying, Kevin, you're incredible, love you. Also getting a bit more love here from Chandarel. We've got Go Kevin. Under also say room to grow for growth as well.
I love that.
So a lot of feedback as well, and people agreeing with you in terms of that. So look, it's hectic. I don't think COVID-19 has been an easy for people. It's been difficult. Now, Kevin, if you look at your personal brand and working with companies, how do you know what to align with? How do you make that choice? Because obviously, if you get a product, the product is, it's nice, but it may not fit in with the brand. Do you still go ahead? What do you do?
So I mean, it is a tough one, because often, being an influencer in South Africa, it isn't the same as anywhere around the world. And I can say I've had that experience, because I do have friends, overseas who do the same thing as me. I have been overseas to learn about it, to take part in overseas campaigns, which, I've been very lucky with. And the whole dynamic of it all is just, completely different. So here, you face quite a I wouldn't say a problem, but you get to a point where it's like you either, as an influencer, you're trying to make it full time. You either need the money because you need to survive, or you need to, pick with what aligns with you. And that's one of the main reasons how so many influencers get those crossed, because you want to make it full time. You really, really want to take this passion and you want to make it all yours and you want to build your life out of it. Yeah. But if you're getting, a possible 2,000 or 3,000 rand for a little campaign, and that happens once a month, it's a good starting point. But often, in our economy right now, it's just not enough to survive, and that's why, people end up taking many deals that don't align with their personal brand. And I can't blame them for that, because it is something that needs to be done. You need to survive. And, what, it really sparks a lot of creativity, because you make it work. You hustle. In any other, I hustle to be an influencer. You get that gig and then you hustle to make it work to who you are. So if somebody had to send me a tractor, would I put on a Louis Vuitton like jacket and get farming? Maybe, but you make it work. You really make it work, and that's the gist of it, as in life.
Definitely, you make it fit in. But what do you say with regards to, say this week one motor brand contacts you, you do a thing for them. Next week another motor brand contacts you. Would you then do something with them as well? Because this week you said this is the best motor brand. Now how do you jump to another brand?
So yeah, I mean, and stuff like that has happened before, because you often get contacted, especially the change of seasons, for example, like summer is coming, try this brand, try this, try that. So, yes. For example, if I had to take it in terms of a car, what a lot of companies do for influencers, and this is something that I wish somebody would have explained to me when I, started out. It was, you take this influencing contract, but then you're not allowed to do anything else automotive for the next, 90 days, 6 months or whatever. And then you have to sign that. And obviously, if you want to be part of the campaign, but then, for those, say, 6 months, you're blocked off from any other possible monetary opportunities in the automotive business. Which can be tough, especially if you focus specifically, like if you're a car blogger, 100%, or a car influencer, 100%, and you don't have anything else that goes with you. And I don't know, X brand comes to you and says, we're going to give you a car to drive for 6 months, but you're not allowed to post anything, do anything else about any other brand in the country. What are you going to do? You've got a car to ride around in, but you don't have any money to pay the rent.
Yeah. So it all just depends on that specifically. Now, also, obviously, the importance of using your voice for more than just one brand, for just a brand and marketing influence. How do you then also decide, and I think it maybe touches base on some of the stuff we've spoken about, if you really don't believe in it, and because you've got a voice, and people listen to your voice specifically, how do you choose what you will influence? If you really don't like it, how would you address the company that sent you the products without making an enemy, obviously?
So it is a hard one, because I instantly feel guilty, and I think that's just who I am as a person. But a lot of the time, you're getting sent a product for a reason. And that's because they obviously believe in you, or they have faith that you can push their brand for them, or the product or service. And, a lot of the time you are always in prior contact with the person who does send you something. And they have become a lot better at asking, would you like this product? Would you like to try it? And that's kind of where I stop it in its tracks before I potentially either, I wouldn't say damage a relationship between myself and a brand, but, as long as, they don't send me something and they feel like they need coverage out of it, and here I am just ignoring the situation. I would never want that to happen for my personal brand and for their brand as a whole. So there's a lot of times saying like, guys, I'm so appreciative of, having me on your list and your database of influencers, because, without you, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. But this is the reason why I can't take it on right now, because I feel like this other brand that I'm possibly working with might clash, or your brand just doesn't really align with me because I'm not this certain type of person, and I wouldn't want to ruin my reputation or your reputation in the process of doing that. And I mean, if you look over social media, and I won't mention any names because there's so many names to mention, that these projects have gone wrong, and you can see that somebody really doesn't care about what they are promoting, which is, it's heartbreaking for the company because they put their trust into them for that. But then, it's heartbreaking for the influencers because they can see this person is just like, getting opportunities that they could possibly have themselves. And then for the actual, viewers and consumers and followers and fans who can easily see through a person's, hunger or greed or deceit.
Yeah. Now, obviously, when you started and when you didn't plan to be an influencer, this is maybe leading up to that. How did you find your influencer niche specifically?
So it was a hard one, especially because I started off with journalism. Like my whole niche in the beginning was, me, I'm this youngster. I was a youngster. Like you can see the lines now, but I was a youngster. And I was on the go all the time, going to events. I was a student at the same time, journalism student, fast paced, like everything is fun. And I was like, okay, well, what inside of all of that, inside of my life, what is that? What do I want out of it? And what can I give people or advise people on? Like I said, I'm not going to go on to Instagram and pretend that I can, do backflips and get abs and whatever, when clearly, lockdown weight has just been very real for me. Yeah. So I said, okay, what can I really offer people? And what can I work with in terms of that? And I thought, okay, I'm really good at electronics and electronic trends. I really love mobile devices and cameras and computers and all of that. And then for a while, I did a lot of tech and a lot of tech influencing and tech journalism. And, what's the latest app you should use? What's the latest phone with the best camera? What's going to help me improve my digital life? And then as I grew up and through the years, like a lot of, and this wasn't just through me, it was through a lot of people and a lot of events that had come through. But tech and fashion had a very strange but very necessary kind of fusion. And to me, I thought it was just the most interesting thing. Like mobile brands like Huawei and Apple and Samsung were bringing in South African influencers who were fashionistas, and they wanted to connect them with mobile phones and stuff like that in order to help them, amp up their content and really push out, the best that they can be online using these products. And I thought, that's really interesting. I mean, and at that point in my life, I was the typical, wear hoodie everywhere kind of person. And it didn't matter what shoes I wore, or what pants I wore, how my hair looked. But don't judge me on it now. And then I thought, okay, well, that's pretty cool. And then there were many people in the industry who, took me in. I still personally feel, and this is probably just me being biased, but I feel fashion influencers are the friendliest of the bunch. And they took me under their wing. They showed me what's in right now, how to dress. And slowly, my passion and my brand, shifted towards, okay, being a male who wants to dress nicely and do it on a budget. And that's who I became. So I often used to do a lot of, outfit shots and shop with me experiences in stores that were reasonably priced, and they used to do quite well. And I think that's how I almost your flight. So no, I mean, and that's how the shift happened, and I was really happy to get into that because it was something fresh and brand new and something I'd never experienced. And I love learning from scratch. So it really does help me, become, I wouldn't say a new person, but it helps me become a person with a new extension of a new skill that I can use in the existing love and passion for my influencer job.
So you found it over the past few years. For those joining us at the moment, I'm live with Kevin. He's an influencer on social media. I'm sitting at King Shaka Airport. I'm flying back to Johannesburg. I was here for the day for business. So you will hear some announcements in the background. It is, I can tell you, it's very quiet at the airport. There's hardly anybody here, and there's literally 2 shops open at the airport as well, which is so weird to see everything closed. So we're going to go into the last few minutes with Kevin. If you've got anything you'd like to pass on, you can comment in the comment box, and I'll display it onto the screen while we are live, and hopefully the announcement will stop in the next minute. And then also don't forget, next week, Wednesday, we're live with Dr. Beulah van der Westhuizen and talking about homeschooling for kids and how that's changed to taking schooling online specifically and away from the classroom etiquette. And that's next week, Wednesday, right here at 3 o'clock. And then we'll also be announcing all of our speakers for the month of July going forward. So, Kevin, before we get to your the last few questions, that people have also asked, I've got a question for you as well. How does social media engagement affect your influencer career? Because obviously, you must go and check how many people liked it and commented and viewed it.
Yeah.
And that must be stressful. So how does it affect you?
Well, it is always the biggest stress of my job. Almost like an accountant or a financial manager needs to get those numbers up. It's how an influencer needs to do the same. Probably just, with less people hanging on the back of them. And me, when it comes to engagement and all that, even if you're not in the influencer game, you've always been exposed to, Instagram's algorithms are changing. I can't see my friends' photos anymore. And so on and so forth. And so regular people experience stuff like that, but influencers experience that slightly worse just because it makes it much, much harder for them to get their content out to everybody to see. And so when it comes to, engagement, you get your likes and you get your comments and you get your shares, for example. But I mean, first side, there's always somebody dropping a nice comment on your photo or your video or whatever it is. Because that can really show, that's like the purest form of engagement. I feel like somebody taking the time to either, compliment.
And have you had haters?
Sorry?
Have you had haters?
Oh, completely, all the time.
How do you deal with this?
You know what? It used to affect me quite a lot, and now I think I don't know if people hate out of jealousy or if they're generally just maybe I'm really annoying, and they can't take me, for example. But that's not my place. Like how they feel about me is not anything to do with me. That probably gets a little bit deep right there, but I think in order for you, even outside of the influencer space, in order for you to make it in life, people's opinions of you have nothing to do with you, and that's that. That's where I leave it. And unless it's something really serious where I'm going to slash your tires and I know where you live, I generally just ignore it and I don't give people the time of day because that's essentially what they want. And I don't have time for that, unfortunately.
No, move on with your life and don't let people influence you. I see Belinda also saying here, hey Kevin, I'm just going to bring it up. Hey Kevin and Neil, reinventing myself was one of the first things I looked forward to tackling during the lockdown. Who doesn't want to exercise in the garden, sit under a peach tree and meditate, or just lie in your back in your garden, gazing up to a cloud. So I'm just opening the full message, giving your brain a much needed reboot. Unfortunately, I didn't get around a lot of that. I may need you to influence me to getting all of that done. I think so many people thought during this lockdown period, I'm going to change myself so much, but it's almost impossible in terms of that. One last question here for you, Kevin, quickly from Sharon. She's saying, hey, Kevin, would you suggest that as an influencer, you focus on your own passions to make a difference?
So, yeah, I mean, there's nothing stronger in terms of, I wouldn't even say content because that would seem so shallow, but like there's nothing stronger than you following your passion, whatever that may be. And when you can translate passion into work, then you're at your most powerful, in my opinion. And I feel like, the work that I'm doing, it sometimes is meaningful when I can get involved and help people out and join with organizations. Sometimes may not be so meaningful when I'm advertising, skincare products, for example. But I know that in every job, there's a balance between that. Not all of the work you're going to do is meaningful, but if it gives you purpose and it gives you drive and it makes you happy, then I'm 100% on board with that. And I think, doing this stuff as an influencer really has, fulfilled that passion for me. And who knows, maybe in the future that may change. I may desire to become or do something else. But right now, like as I'm sitting in the spot, like I feel so fulfilled and so whole by doing and working with such creative people in this industry. And there's nothing else I want more out of it, yeah.
Kevin, as you're finishing up, any last few words from your side to anybody that's watching?
So anybody who's watching, I just wanted to say thank you very much for the questions and thank you so much for listening to us. I mean, I hope that, you'll take a look at influencers a little bit differently going forward and maybe not so vain, but I think that there's so much more behind the camera than what there is here. And I hope you could learn something from me. And I just really want to say thank you to everybody who took the time to listen. Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Neil, for having me and for such an amazing day.
Anytime. Thanks so much for joining, Kevin. I've got one last question that I want to ask you. Anybody that's aspiring to be an influencer, what's the first step?
Just learn, Google, literally just get all the information you can. You don't need fancy equipment to get started. Use what you have, but honestly, it's all about taking time to read and to explore forums and other influencers, see what they like doing and copy that until you can make that your own. And it works every time. It's a life hack.
That's awesome. Kevin, thank you so much. It's really awesome to have you on our show, Talking in Conversation. Guys, don't forget next week, Wednesday, we've got Dr. Beulah van der Westhuizen and Talking Children and how schooling's been taken online and how it changes things going forward. And anybody that wants to reach Kevin, your Instagram is?
My Instagram is at Kevin McLennan ZA. I don't know. I hope you'll be able to spell that, but it's at Kevin McLennan, McLennan ZA, and that's Twitter, that's Instagram, TikTok, all the fun stuff.
Awesome. We definitely want to go and see what TikTok videos you're putting out there. We know it must be funny. And Kevin, you must have a good day and good luck with the lockdown and also the cold weather in Joburg.
Yes.
I'll feel it in a few hours.
Yes, good luck. You might want to put on a scarf or something. It's very chilly here.
Awesome, and enjoy your water.
Will do, yeah. I'm going to continue doing my thing. Thank you very much, Neil. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Have a good day, Kevin. Chat to you soon.
All right. Cheers. Bye.
Bye-bye. So that was Kevin McLennan talking, being an influencer on social media. I'm sitting here at the King Shaka Airport and doing it live from over here. I'm flying back to Johannesburg with this quick business trip to over here. So I hope you enjoyed today, and that you got something from Kevin in terms of being an influencer. It's not an easy job always. You're getting all of the stuff, but it is there is some challenges and stuff that you have to also overcome over time. Next week, Wednesday, don't forget, Dr. Beulah van der West is right here at 3 o'clock on the Oracle Media Facebook page. And I'll see you then. Thank you so much. Have a good Wednesday. Bye-bye.